Hi guys. Okay, so in this video I'm going to be doing my natural bridal look. So this is one of the most popular looks for myself as a makeup artist. Most brides do want to have a really natural bridal look, and you need to be able to offer that for your brides. There's a lot of makeup artists out there that can't do the super natural look, and a lot of your brides will be requesting that. So you need to know when to put the brush down and when to step back from the blusher and the highlighter and just listen to your bride. So I'm going in here with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush foundation. So this is a medium coverage foundation, and it just gives you a little bit of glow, but it's also going to be long wearing. And this brush is from Pout Cosmetics. And I'm just doing a really light wash to start with. And I'll go back in at the end and I'll perfect the skin, but I just want to make sure that all the redness is all even. Okay, so I'm going in with a beauty blender as well, just pressing in the foundation as we go. I like to work with brushes and beauty blenders. And the key thing with building a long-lasting look is to use thin layers. So rather than going in with a really heavy foundation, just lightly build up the layers on the skin, and that'll give you the longevity. So you want to make sure that you also look at the neck and any areas of the chest that are exposed. Just have a chat with your bride during the consultation to find out the neckline of her dress and make sure that all your skin is even. And then I also like to just do a little wash of foundation over the eyelids. Again, just to even out any redness or discoloration on the eyelid, and also around the hairline. And if you do end up getting any foundation into the hair, just be really discreet, and you can actually use some Bioderma and a cotton pad and just remove it off the hair before the hairdresser sees. This is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Longwear Concealer in 1N, so it's nice and fair for beautiful Stephanie. So this is a Real Techniques concealer brush. And I love these for underneath the eyes, and you can just press the product in. Paying particular attention to the outer corner of the eye. We tend to get a little bit red there, and also on the inner corners of the eye as well. You want to make sure that those areas are fully concealed and stop any discoloration. Okay, so we're going to go in with an eye primer. This is the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Eyeshadow Primer. This is really great for anyone that has slightly dry skin because it's really hydrating and it's not going to dry out the eye area. I find some of the long-lasting primers, they tend to dehydrate the eyelid, and then when you use shadows on top, you can get real crepey skin look, which isn't very nice. Okay, so just close. And again, I'm using the same brush but a clean one, and just going over the whole of Stephanie's lid, up to the brow area. And this is a really neutral color. I don't want to add any color at the moment to the lid because we are going for that super natural bridal makeup look. And just get that on and make sure that you have no harsh lines. I'm then going to take a smaller little bullet brush and I'm just going to go underneath the eye. So if you just look up for me, hon, and then just all the way underneath. And this will just prime the skin underneath Stephanie's eye, because anything that's going to have shadow on, you need to prime, otherwise it's just not going to last. Okay, perfect. So just close, and then I just like to just tap the eyelid just to make sure that that's nice and set and it's not tacky anymore. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes. This is a new palette of mine which I'm loving for bridal, and I'm just going in with this first color here, which is called Swan. If you just close, and what I like to do is I just like to set that color underneath, or the primer, and just give a really light wash, and that just allows any color you put on top of that just to blend in seamlessly, so you don't get any patchiness or any products that are going to grab to the primer, which is really important for a flawless finish. And I'm then going to go in with a bronzer on the eye. So this is the Hourglass Bronzer in Nude Light. This has seen some love, this palette. And I'm just going to use this to shape out the contour of the eye. So if you just close for me, I'm just going to work on the outer corners, bringing it in the crease, just with a nice fluffy brush. And this is great for blondes, this kind of neutral, bronzy tone. Anyone with blue eyes, it just looks gorgeous on. You can use the same bronzer on darker skins, but you'd want to go with something with a little bit more intensity. So just choose a deeper shade. And then we're going to do exactly the same underneath the eye. This is one of my favorite little brushes. I've had this for years. This is by Suku, just look up, which is a Japanese brand, and it's just really fluffy. So underneath the eyes, it just feels really soft. It diffuses the color really evenly with no harsh edges. Kind of does all the work for you. And this is just tracing out the eye. And the same on the other eye. So I'm not using any eyeliner on this video. Everything's just going to be really soft to create that natural bridal look. Okay, so I'm going in now with Coca, which is a nice kind of taupey color, nice warm taupey color. And I'm going to turn my brush vertical, and I just want to press the product onto the outer corner of the eye. And by pressing, you reduce any fallout. So just start on the outer corners, and then I'm going to bring it all the way across the lash line. And these are all matte colors, so we're going to use a little bit of highlight on the inner corner, but because it's a natural look, we just want to have nice, soft, matte colors. And then using a clean brush, this is a Charlotte Tilbury, just blending those colors in together and softening that look. And just open, gorgeous. And then doing exactly the same on the other eye, pressing that into the corner, and just knowing where to stop with this look, knowing when's enough and to pull back. This is all about your beautiful bride and the look that she wants for her day, and not about you know, trying out the latest trends. And then I'm gonna go in with a flat, small, tapered brush, and we're just gonna repeat the same step underneath. So going in with that same cocoa color, and just look up. And just pressing that along the lash line, really, really close. So you want this to really hug the lash line now. This is for your definition, and this will really pick up in the photography. And then going back to that original brush, just making sure everything is seamless and blended and no harsh edges. And that's all we're going to do on the eyes. I'm going to add a little highlight at the end, but we're going to stop there with the shadow. So I'm going in with the Dip Brow by Anastasia. This is in taupe. It's a little angle brow brush from MAC. And I'm just going to fill in any gaps. And you just want to go in the direction of the brow. I love this product because it's super long lasting. I originally always used pencils, but I found when I looked back at brides' photos that this product just lasts all day. So just remember that the bride goes through so much in the day, from her photos to dancing, and the products need to last all day. Most brides now will have a photographer there right until the last minute. So you want your products to be super, super long lasting. Okay, so just keep working through the brow. That'll get you your most natural finish with this product. It does set, so just keep applying and brushing. You want to spend quite a bit of time just perfecting those brows, as they frame your face, and it's so important that you get them looking perfect. Just small strokes into the brow, following the direction of the hair growth. So I'm going to go in with some lashes now. These are Model Rock lashes, part of the bridal collection I do. They are a strip lash, but they're super natural, so I think these are going to be perfect for that natural bridal look. But always make sure that you measure your lashes. So just pop them on, and then just get the bride to open. And you can see that when that's attached, that's going to be perfect. So always do that first. There's nothing worse than a lash overhanging the eye. So I've just popped a little bit of the duo glue onto a cotton bud, And I'm just lining the rim of the lash. You want to make sure that you get all of the band. I also like to just catch the back of the lash as well. Especially with bridal, you need to make sure that these bad boys are not gonna fling off. Once you've applied your glue, just give it a minute so it's tacky before you press it onto the lash. And then grab your lash in the center with your tweezers. And again, just make sure that it's nice and tacky. So just get your bride to look down, and then we're gonna place the lash, just using your other finger to support, right in the center. And just let the lash connect, and then you can go ahead and wiggle it into the inner corner, and then finally the outer corner. And just be really gentle when using tweezers near the eyelash. And you can just pinch the lash and the fake lash together. Just going in with a second lash now, and just making sure that you've coated the back of the lash. And I love to use this black glue because it just gives the illusion of a little bit of eyeliner without actually having to use it, and just gives that depth for the camera. And then look down again. And again, just pressing the lash onto the natural lash, being really gentle. Whilst the glue's setting, just to be really light-handed with your finger and just lift the lash up. That way your lash will sit perfectly and won't hang down. Just got a little tiny cotton bud. These are super pointed. These are from my Kitco, and I'm just making sure that the lashes at the end have enough glue on. So you can just go in and just add that little bit of extra glue if you need to. Don't be afraid to go back in with glue once the lash is in place. And just making sure that the end of the lash has enough glue on so they don't lift halfway through the day. So I'm just now going to perfect the skin. So I'm just using a little bit of the concealer, the Laura Mercier concealer, with a fluffy brush. And when you use these fluffy brushes on the skin, it just creates that airbrush effect. So it just makes the skin look super diffused and beautiful. And I tend just to buff over everywhere. And again, using those thin layers will give you your longevity. And now I'm going to use this all-nighter setting spray and just spray it onto a beauty blender. And we're just going to press over the skin just to help blend everything in. But by using the setting spray, it actually creates like a secret locking for the foundation and just gives you that extra guarantee that the makeup is going to last all day. Okay, so I'm happy with how the skin is looking now. I'm going to move on to contouring just to help shape the face and define the features. This is a product by Westman Atelier. This is a beautiful contour. So it's a cool tone contour, which means it's just going to help to create shadows on the skin. It's not going to be like a bronzer. So it's going to be really natural. And I love this for contouring. Just use pressing motions under the cheekbone. And you can also go back in with your beauty blender. These beauty blenders have got a bit of a hard line, so it's perfect for shaping the contour. And a little bit around the top of the forehead. So contouring has had a bit of a bad rap. It was never really designed to be an obvious process. It's designed to be subtle and bring out the features. Okay, and then moving on to blush, I'm going to use a liquid blush on Stephanie. This is the NARS Orgasm Blush in liquid. I'm actually going to go back in with my foundation brush that I used because I want it just to melt into the skin. And just on the high points of the cheek, I tend to apply a little bit on each side and then go back in and make sure the product's all blended. And then again, using your beauty blender to make sure there are no harsh edges and everything is seamless. And the foundation that's already on your beauty blender will also help just to melt it into the skin. I'm going to use a cream highlighter. So making sure that your hands are clean and everything is sterilized, just going in with my fingers on the high points of the cheekbone. Tiny little bit on the nose. You need to be careful with the nose not to use too much highlighter. Again, with flash photography and the photos, you just want it to be a little bit of a shine without being too heavy. I'm gonna go in and just powder the areas that I want powdered. This is By Terri Hyaluronic Acid powder, and I'm just using a fluffy brush. This brush is by Serac. It's a beautiful brush that I love to use for powdering. And I'm just gonna get a little bit underneath the eyes. I'm gonna do a little tiny bit under the cheekbone because I'm gonna use a little bit more bronzer there. And again, we want everything to be seamless. And to tie the eyes into the cheeks, I'm going back in with the same product I use on the eyes, which is the Hourglass Bronzer in Nude Light. Using an angled brush, just carve out the cheekbones and around the forehead and underneath the jaw. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a clear gel on the eyebrows. This product is something that I've used since I was a teenager. It's a product from England. It's just a gel clear mascara that is about £2. And when I go home, I buy like 40 of them. It's the best eyebrow gel. And just brushing up through the brow and then taking the tail of the brow down. This is a really youthful way to have your brows. It just lifts the face. I'm going to go in with my one and only mascara that I use, which is the Kevyn Aucoin curling mascara. This is a tubular mascara. I find is the most long lasting. It doesn't smudge. You don't ever get any transfer on the eyes. And I'm just using a fan brush from my Kitco, and I just want to blend the natural lash into the false lash. So just look down. I'm just going to support the back of the lash with my little finger and just comb through the lashes. And that will just join them together. So when you look from the side, the silhouette is perfect. And then for the bottom lashes, I'm going to use a tiny little mascara wand and just pick up some mascara and then just look up. I'm just going to catch a little bit of the lash. Stephanie's got really long lower lashes, so just catching the root of the lash, otherwise it's just going to look a little bit too Disney character. So I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting on the inner corner of the eye. This is the Nude Sticks in Prana, so just look straight ahead. And I'm just going to go in with this on the inner corners and layering creams, and then I'm going to pop a powder over the top, again for that longevity. Just going to soften that with a brush. I'm then going to go in with this Anastasia Beverly Hills pigment, and this is in the color Crystal. So these are super pigmented. You don't need to use a lot of this. And just look straight ahead, and then just layer that over the top of the cream, just for that pop of highlight. I'm now gonna finish with the lips. So I always like to use a pad when I'm doing lips, just so you don't disturb the foundation. This is a Pat McGrath lip liner, and I like to line the entire lip with my liner. And that just creates the base for anything you put on top. So when the lipstick starts to wear away, you've got that lip liner as insurance. So I'm just gonna make sure that I'm getting right into the inside of the mouth as well. So just take your time to make sure that all the lip is covered. So I'm going in now with YSL Lip Stain. This is in number 7. And this is a super natural color that I love to use for brides. And this is one of my favorite lip brushes. This is the Shiramura eyeliner and lip brush. And the way I like to do lips is use the brush to work for you and just catch the Cupid's bow first. And then you can turn the brush around and catch the other side. And then you can also use the flat of the brush to catch the outer corner. And also get your bride just to tilt her head slightly, and that just allows you to get right in to the other side. And then use the flat end of the brush again to go across the bottom of the lip. And then just slightly press your lips together. Perfect. Okay, so that's pretty much the look. I'm just gonna go over everything and make sure it's all blended in. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of blush. And just as a final step, just to soften the lip a little bit, I'm gonna use a tiny little bit of gloss. This is by Fenty Beauty, and it's in the color Sweet Mouth. And just to go over the lip, just to soften. Okay, that's perfect. I'm super happy with this look. It's perfect for those cool girl brides that are wanting that understated look.